Hello and welcome to another update video about Cosmos Atom. So yeah, Atom is currently following the wave count here. In the last video, we had this massive spike to the upside, this unnatural spike. I think by the time I had made the last video, we were already down here again to $10. This spike reached all the way up to 10.40. It looks quite significant on the lower time frame here. If you zoom out, it's not that significant, but a few people already got quite bullish about it. But as suggested in the last video, it was a very clear three-wave structure to the upside. So the assumption is it's not sustainable. It most likely will sell off again, which it did. So we made this lower wave 5. So we've actually fulfilled this scenario from the last video that we would come down lower in a wave 5. However, the question is this wave 5 over or not? At the moment, I'm leaning towards it's not finished yet and it will come down a bit lower. Because the wave pattern that we have here on the lower time frame is that we moved up in a wave 1, well, not like that, more like that, wave 1. We came down in an A wave, we moved up in an overshooting wave B, and we're coming down in a C wave, a so-called ending diagonal pattern, which is here 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last wave down is 5. Minimum target for such a ending diagonal, which is expanding, which is quite rare, but it's expanding. So minimum target would actually be that the wave 5 has to be longer than the wave 3. So we can just double check that. Wave 3 was that long, and the wave 5 would then actually need to get to, and that's obviously in the perfect world, but that's sort of the ideal targets, it's what you would expect, is to $9.26. At least get the same length as the wave 3. I mean, you could say minimum expectations are fulfilled because the wave 5 ended lower than the wave 3, but in all likelihood, you would expect it to come down a bit lower. Also, looking at the lower level wave pattern for this wave 5, I would argue that probably we had here a wave 1, a small wave 2, then we came down in a wave 3. This is a 4, and we may get one more low. Either way, until we get any kind of impulsive price action to the upside, I cannot confirm that a low is in. We are currently entering a support area, or about to enter, so we haven't really touched it yet. But this is the support area for this 1-2 setup, which is a possible bullish setup. It is defined between the 61.8% FIB level at $9.38, and the 88.7% FIB level at $8.92. As long as we're holding this support area, it is possible to still from here reverse to the upside in a wave 3. Ideally, we already don't want to go below $9.09. That is the 78.6% FIB level, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because the wave A came down quite low. So ideally, we want to hold above $8.92. Well, ideally above $9.09. In an extreme case, it needs to hold above $8.92. If we lose this support level, then we have to assume that we are in this alternative wave 2, which is still bullish but short-term bearish. So we come down a bit lower into this area between $6.80 and $8. So first attempt for a reversal can be made in this support area. If we lose it, then we're going to get into the next support area, and we are resetting this wave 2, which at the moment I assume ended there, where we had the 870 level on the 23rd of November. So how does it all fit into the larger wave pattern? So at the moment we can carefully assume that the June low was already the bear market low. We moved up in a wave 1. We came down in a wave 2 in an ABC pattern. This could be finished here. It was on the 23rd of November. We then created another 1-2 setup. To validate that, we need to hold the yellow support area that I just defined. However, if we lose this support area, we're most likely going to get into this larger wave 2 area, which would mean we have to reset this wave 2. That this wave 2 didn't finish here, because if you make a lower low, then the wave 2 couldn't finish here because it invalidates this bullish 1-2 setup, and then we have to assume maybe wave 2 finishes here. But then if we drop below 683, we're going to go into bear mode on this chart. So we are currently pulling back into support. We've got a larger 1-2 setup, maybe a smaller one, and the idea is that if these are finished, we're going to rally in a third wave to the upside, and I can give you a possible target for the third wave depending on how low we really go. But let's look at the most bearish option. Then the target for the wave 3 would be around $26. Not a bad reward to risk ratio. But at the moment, I can also tell you we have no evidence yet that we are stopping here, that we have bottomed out. Yeah, so we've come back to 942. And the move up currently is not really convincing, so there's nothing really bullish here, no bullish reaction. This rather looks like a corrective wave pattern, maybe something like a triangle, which would be considered a trend continuation pattern, which would most likely result in a move to the downside. However, if we now push to the upside, get above the wave 4 high, we have to assume that the low was already in. And that's my update about Atom, Cosmos Atom. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.